2023. We're back, bitches. The ATW Crew is back once again with you to discuss all things wrestling. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2023. What a hell of a kickoff it has certainly been, and a whole lot more to come indeed. Here we are, January 6th. We've had WrestleKingdom, we had New Year's Dash, and then we had basically the story that has about caused the internet wrestling community to crash. And so we are back here, what we thought was going to be an AW illusion at a much more expedited time to discuss literally all
Yes, and it's partially my fault for advocating for this return, mostly because I had to say this. Today, we're going to talk about a piece of shit.
Well, let me talk to you on behalf of the crew. Welcome once again to this platform called the ATW VIEW. Impromptu. I am the simple man. My name is Noah Foster. With me, of course, is the All Elite Brother for life with me, the KING King A-Train, Anthony, and of course, the bearer of all things news. Bringing himself out of the Wrestleverse for tonight. By the way, great coverage, by the way, on the Kyrie and the Tam Nakano match with Mercedes Monet appearance. And we'll get more into that. I'm, of course, talking about representing New Entertainment, Eric Brown. And, of course, shout out to the entire ATW family, including that limited to Kid Bennett, Preacher Man, Casey Flynn, our enforcer Alexa that was there live at WrestleKingdom and New Year's Dash, our queen that continues her uprising in the wrestling industry, Megan Chiba. Congratulations. Enough about continued success to you, my friend. We look forward to having you back on this platform soon. Cindy G, of course, Sienna Chanel, starting her own Twitch community most recently. Party Man, JD, and I'm not talking about JDMY from New York. Okay, get your facts straight. Casey Troop, James Hebert, everybody in the entire ATW family.
You gotta wonder how James is feeling hearing this, probably.
Well, last I heard, he's not feeling well, but that's more of a health point because, again, during our WrestleKingdom watch on the WWF Multiverse Media, he was working in the green room and his voice still wasn't back too. He was under the weather, flu, sinuses, that type of stuff. He still feels like kind of a bit like crap, but me and him will be back later on the WWF Multiverse Media, which is why we're on a time constraint for the time being, to coverage both AEW Rampage and Battle Belts 5, which are back-to-back live. As we record this, 8:14 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Enough of the intros, enough of the settlements. We got a lot to discuss, but it's only been 6 days. Let's get right into it. So usually I like to go in chronological order, but I feel like right now the biggest thing that happened in 2023 should be the opener. So with that being said, I now turn over the platform to the bearer of all things news, Eric Brown. So Eric, you expedited this episode tonight and this discussion for a very huge reason. So go ahead, break it down and give us your initial thoughts and then turn over however you want.
Wall Street Journal published a story piece saying that Vince McMahon was plotting to usurp the throne again and once again reclaim his place at the mountaintop of WWE and boldly go ahead and act like he's Boba Fett and then Napoleon Bonaparte, thinking he can just and he could just come back in and resume business as usual. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Less than 24 hours later, it happened, and he has now usurped the throne and has reclaimed his status as the board chairman. Board status.
Anthony, initial thoughts with the fact that the Mad King, and I'm not talking about Eddie Kingston, is back on his throne. What does this mean for the future of the creative direction of WWE and more particularly the position of Triple H?
Let me start on the creative side first. I was going to save this, like we talked about, for the ATW View during Revolution Week, but our inquirer decided to bring the ATW View back on a time.
And plus, the news would have probably shifted and changed until March.
We're hitting it as soon as we do it. And stay tuned, folks, for further coverage of this on Open Mic Night, where I'm sure me, James Hebert, Jeff Meacham, the movie star, Mikey T, along with others, Big J, who's always happy to be here.
I'm pretty sure James is going to curse. I'm pretty sure James is going to curse. And he's going to say that everyone in that company has no balls.
Yep. You made him sound nice just in that little retort. I feel like he's going to take it up to 11. And he recently has been in better spirits. But sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead, Anthony.
Creative. Where do I start?
Well, I can help you with that.
Before I let you help us, I know you have a lot. here's what I'm gonna start with this. Has the WWE product gotten a little bit better underneath the Triple H regime? Yes, it has to some point. The pay-per-views have become a little bit better than underneath the Vince McMahon era. But come on, people. Y'all do realize that this man has the majority shareholder of this company. This is his baby. You don't think for one simple second that he is suggesting the fact and watching all of this from his house thinking, oh, I had Austin Theory hold the Money in the Bank briefcase, and now Triple H, my son-in-law, has got him a United States Championship instead of going after the WWE title. That's what my original plan was probably going to be.
Austin Theory usurps Roman Reigns.
What is Johnny? Who is this NXT Rudy Poo? Who is this Johnny Gargano? Who is this Dexter Loomis?
It's too small, damn it.
You brought Hit Row back. But what? Oh, wait a minute. Where is Swerve? Oh, he's in that other company. That's the reason why I had him fired. You don't think that this man's going to walk backstage in gorilla position of thinking, seeing all of this Triple H NXT talent he brought back along with Dakota Kai, Io Shirai, and he brought Bayley back out of the injured reserve list. And you don't think he's going to look at him and say, wait a minute. Where did you go? Who are you people?
Oh, no. You want to know the biggest beef he's going to do?
Oh, boy.
Well, besides smack Baron Corbin back in the head again.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So Corbin, he came out and admitted that, that if he wasn't my boss, I would have struck back. And now he just publicly admitted that. And now Vince is back and is like, awkward. But you want to know who's going to suffer from this probably once Vince inevitably takes back his power?
Who do you think is going to suffer the worst?
The guy who kept telling Vince, okay, your ideas are the S word, your ideas are shit, and I think you're shit. And he's going to respond, well, Wyatt, you're fat.
Bray Wyatt.
And here's what I saw on Twitter and on Instagram.
When you guys are on social media much more than me. That's why I'm letting you all guide the conversation. Yeah. So continue.
But I got more. Apparently, this is all part of Vince's. Oh, there's some more details I found out. And when I heard this, I was like, okay, I give it 3 months. I give it a month before he's back in CEO and creative positions because of what he recently did that got the approval of the Security and Exchange Commission. You want to know what I found out? I had to get clarification from Just Alex, the Lexman he once was called.
Yes.
In his video, he read the documents. Vince McMahon has now elected himself as the sole proprietor to basically say yes or no to any TV or media deals. So if someone else on the board says, we need to take this deal, Vince could say no. And they'll say, okay, Vince, what do you want for us to get this deal?
So what you're telling me is voting power means zero. WWE's back under a dictatorship. Vince has final decision.
Yeah, basically, and basically what they have to do, what the board would basically have to do to get the deal approved is if, like, Vince, what do you want for us to get you say yes? And he's like, wow, I can think of 2 things I want, damn it.
And who knows?
And here's the other thing, and here's the bad part. The USA Network comes up this year. Fox is next year.
Yep.
And we've already discussed over Might Night for those that watch the platform over there, how at one point I believe Fox is literally getting like half their actual worth in the contract as far as revenue stream goes. So it's not looking great. But he still might find a way to either stay under that umbrella or sell it for something.
Oh, he's actually said this. Apparently, Vince wants to be the big thing. This is what one of the lines in the Wall Street Journal piece said. He has communicated to the board that unless he has direct involvement as executive chairman from the onset of a strategic review, he won't support or approve any media right deal or sale.
And once I read that line, I was like, so they pretty much that Poison video, that Poison promo from '02, when he was bringing in the NWO, has rung true, and it sounds even more true. Y'all know what I'm talking about when he talk about, I'm going to inject a lethal dose of poison.
Yep.
And here's the thing: I had to ask my residential legal attorney, aka Clint 4000 on Twitter. I've tagged him in some of this stuff. He reveals that Vince can legally do this, but the shareholders could file a lawsuit against him. So basically, Vince has opened up a door for the power struggle of 2023.
So either Vince gets his way, or Vince faces multiple lawsuits.
Correct. And I'm pretty sure Vince is going to think he can win it all since he just got out of a sexual harassment thing.
Well, this is when anything
and he
you
beat
put
the
against Vince McMahon,
it's not
the steroid trial, and then this. It's like anything you put in front of this man, he just basically like roadblock, like bulldozes it. I don't even know how.
All I know is
from his buddy. You want to know the thing that makes me more baffled? He did this usurpation on the 2-year anniversary of what Trump tried to do. And I'm not going to say anything.
January 6th. Yep. But yeah,
there's some history is better off not recapped.
Yeah. So I had to look. I looked that thing up, and then I found out that Vince wants to sell the company essentially, and this came out about an hour ago after I talked to you, Noah and King. Guess who threw their hat in to say, I hear you might be plotting to sell. Well,
Disney?
Nope. I'd rather have it been Disney. Here's the best way to
Saudi
describe
Arabia?
it. We're going to need a lot more blood segments.
I just said it. Saudi Arabia.
Country redacted. The Prince.
Saudi Arabia wants from, we have a 10-year, 20-year deal to, we want complete ownership.
Oh my God.
Oh my Lord. No. Saudi Arabia owning the WWE. That's the definition of a global takeover. Imagine having all that training power with all the intellectual property that the WWE owns and its constituent partners in tow.
Also, if you know who gets reelected, you do realize he's probably in their pocket too.
I don't know who's going to run for the primary this year. I mean, isn't Joe Biden's like term up this year? I figure something like that.
No, next year.
Okay, that's right.
Next year.
Although I have read stuff that people are like, "Oh, we might impeach this guy." When was the last time I heard that? Because politics is never correct. Politically incorrect. That's America. God help us.
And I posted an Ackman clip that says, here in America, we strongly believe that if you have any problems, you should throw enough money at it to watch it all disappear.
It's like everything's solved with a big giant dollar sign and a fat wallet. Not the case of everything else that causes problems. I mean, we just talked about it. Catch-22. Either Vince gets his way, or Vince has literally set himself in a position where he could literally give shareholders the power to try and sue the company. It could be a financial catastrophe.
Here's the thing. Vince either wins and he gets a lot of money out of this, or Vince loses and he still destroys the company.
But that
either way, it's a lose-lose situation.
I'm about to say, I mean,
for Vince, it's I win ultimately in the end because either Triple H and Stephanie don't run their thing, or I take over everything back.
Well, that's
which means Triple H's head of creative is basically going to go right back to Vince, and
I think
pretty
much
give it
a month or two before when Vince starts to use his, I have my 80% voting power. I could just swing that around and give my whole, if you don't give me this, then I'll just block any TV deals you want.
So this is probably going to affect the entire morale of the WWE ecosystem that's been the brightest light in the last 20 years.
Rossap talked about that, and other sources were talking about it. They did not know. They only found out when we found out yesterday.
Knew it.
And here's the thing. I
had a gut feeling that was going to go down like
it was announced that Vince was back on the board, there was already reports that some top stars were like, okay, I need to get out of here.
Okay, we heard that in 2020, but some of them stayed.
Yeah, but
but that was when Vince was on the verge of leaving. Now Vince is back, and they're like, okay, we need to get out of here now. We've tasted the freedom of a WWE without Vince. We can't go back, man.
Can I imagine how many people right now are like, I like working under Triple H more. I don't want to go back to the Dark Ages. Not that,
And if Vince does get,
not that I can speak for that whole locker room. I'm just saying, but still, you could clearly tell the difference in the product.
and if Vince does come back with the recent returns like Bronson Reed, and oh my God, Bronson gonna end up looking like a fool.
He's probably gonna get buried immediately.
From the man that beat Okada in the G1 to becoming Miz's lackey into now.
Like you had New Japan ready to grasp your power, and you went back to be the Miz's lackey.
I was expecting Jonah to come back after Okada when Okada inevitably, we'll talk about that in a little bit, won the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleKingdom. I was expecting that to be revisited. Before I learned Bronson Reed was back in the WWE and
money will throw at you and
well, it's
just
like
ask
I
Cole
said,
Anderson.
WWE, and maybe I'm actually wrong on this due to Mandy Rose. WWE is your biggest opportunity for a paycheck and maybe a role in Hollywood if you somehow cannot find your way to work through Vince's vision for the long haul. It surprises me that the likes of AJ Styles, for example, has been able to do that because he's an incredible worker.
Well, now he's injured, so he's going to.
Now he's injured along, and so is Seth Rollins.
What?
Yeah, Seth Rollins is hurt. I keep hearing conflicting reports on what exactly he's hurt about. He's hurt either his ankle, and some other source kept saying he might have a torn. Well, let's just say he's not going to have kids probably after this.
No, it ain't that. It has something to do with his
God,
ankle.
It's not that.
It's his ankle. So because he legit threw up the X the first time.
Well, I heard that, but I kept hearing two conflicting reports.
It ain't about what you just said about the second one. It's about the first one.
But
guess who
2016 all over again. Got it.
Yeah. Yep. Guess who decided to comment indirectly about Vince?
Well, again, I'm not on social media, so this should be interesting.
Everyone at work is being so nice to me these past 24 hours. I wonder why. The related holiday spirit. See you tonight on TNT for 2 hours of AEW on TV.
Tony,
listen.
Stop, man. Stop feeding the machine. Focus on your own company.
And guess what? To add on to that, Eric, Tranquilo Club posted a picture of Tony
him holding a cigar.
And Tony
said,
Tony
commented
and said,
of me from last night.
Exactly.
Tony Khan is just having fun.
And of course, the tribalists lost their ballistic minds, even though they were previously cheering that Vince was gone for a little bit.
Well, I'm not surprised that the tribalists lost their minds. I mean, who would have saw that coming? There's a reason why I'm not on social media. Remember, protect your mentality. I'm pretty sure everyone right now in and out of the WWE is losing their mentality, unless you're in AEW or Impact or somewhere else.
Here's the thing. I've been wanting to say this. Remember how people were going out and saying, "Yeah, Tony Khan's paying the Wall Street Journal and whatnot," because that makes sense.
No,
yeah, you want to know what I kept saying to myself?
What?
Why would Tony? Okay, in a hypothetical scenario that if Tony really was doing this, not really, what would Tony gain from that? He benefits more from Vince being in WWE than out of WWE because Vince makes
zero.
Hate him.
The number you're looking for is zero.
Yes.
Because the man is basically running two companies. So why would he need to add on to this onto that?
About to say, we're waiting for the Ring of Honor soft launch to fully go through while the website's being updated.
But what I mean, like, Tony Khan benefited more having Vince in WWE than without it, because when Vince was in WWE, he just threw people out. He made people hate him. They made people be like, I don't want to work for you so long as you keep living here.
And that's why people went to Impact and AEW and NJPW. It was an open industry.
And then when Vince was gone, everyone wanted to go back to WWE and start teasing they might go back after their contracts are up. Now Vince is trying to get back into things, and it's like, well, I bet on the wrong horse.
And maybe I'm better off where I am at this point, even if I were to go to Shawn Michaels NXT.
Oh, don't worry about Shawn Michaels. I'm sure he's going to try and use Perverted Delights, unless you use Fan Time.
Unless you're Matt Bloom and you want to snitch. But hey, I'm not the one in around that company to know about that. So
hey, all I know, let me talk to you. All I know, Mandy Rose is a millionaire, and she doesn't have the WWE to thank for it.
Exactly.
So
Go
not
make
her.
your money, girl.
Hey, you know what? When God gives you the gifts, you want to use them the way you wish. It's up to you. I'm not going to judge you. Who am I?
Also, right before the year had ended, we saw Charlotte return. Hooray, the robot.
I heard about that.
Oh, guess what?
Continue.
I found out. Guess who was there at the show?
At which show? The last SmackDown of last
No,
year?
the SmackDown where Charlotte won.
Yeah, it was last SmackDown of last year, right? It was
Yeah.
literally last week.
Yeah,
Who?
guess who was there?
Who?
Andrade?
Woo! Woo!
Of course, Ric Flair.
Woo!
The man himself.
Here's the thing. He left before she returned because she never told him she was coming back.
You know, it's funny you mentioned
Kept
that.
it from her own father.
It's funny you mentioned that because you think about when Charlotte Flair took time off when kayfabe wise on TV, she pushed away her father. We talk about protect your mentality. Could it be that Ric Flair maybe causes Charlotte Flair, oh, I don't know, a little bit of anxiety?
That, and I said this. I don't want to make an assumption, but could it be Charlotte didn't trust you to know she was coming back, all things considered, since you've broken several promises, came back, and then try to threaten you're going to come back again and waste all of our time and make
nearly
everyone
and nearly died during your so-called last match. That was a freaking car wreck.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, guess what? Ricky Steamboat was almost going to do that match. However, he then heard, wait, Ric Flair has a pacemaker? Oh, F that. No, I'm not doing that.
And let's not forget right now, Triple H is the guy that right now is running the WWE with a pacemaker, as if he doesn't have enough stress to begin with.
Oh, I was, you gotta be wondering what Triple H is thinking, hearing that his father-in-law is back. I kept posting clips from House of the Dragon where Sir Christian Cole just wails on this guy and beats his head in, and I was like, yeah, that's probably what he's thinking.
I mean, again,
his creative job is on the line right now as we speak.
Pretty much at this point, everything Triple H just built is on the verge of being reset and erased. Yeah. And this just comes shortly after I heard from my friends, Money in the Bank, they're going to try, I guess, for the whole Big Five feel. This year, it's going to be in the O2 Arena in London.
Yep.
And Vince is going to be like, don't mess with America.
Probably. Give Austin Theory the briefcase again.
Oh, no. For once, I want LA Knight to get this, but you may be right.
I don't know if LA Knight is a Vince guy per se.
Yeah, you're right. No. This is
LA Knight's not a Vince guy. Remember, he was Maximum Male Waddles.
Max Dupree.
Oh God, I forgot about that act. That's right. That's still a thing there too, except he's not part of that. I think I remember going to SmackDown, a gift from my friend, and the friggin' Maximum Male Models, thankfully on that was not part of that gift at the time. They were in main events. The pre-show before SmackDown.
Yeah.
Or not main event.
I do also have other news that came out when Vince's return was announced.
So yeah, because let's get back as we do Impromptu here. We into whole different. Let's get back on the whole thing here. So of course, King, you talked a bit about the rest of the creative side of things, and Eric, you talked about the rest of the marketing side of things. Let's go ahead and talk about the morale side of things here. It's one thing to work for a job, for a paycheck, for your livelihood. It's another thing to have a morale where you don't regret going in, or you don't regret being part of this. We've heard multiple times how lately WWE, it feels more comfortable to work in. I don't know if you want to go back to that sort of stressful work environment.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've heard, up until this point, the backstage morale has been, uplifting and great underneath the Triple H, creative side of things. But now, just like you talk about the word reset, everything, if he does come back in the gorilla position and is back as head of creative, you don't think Bruce Pritchard is waiting him on the wings and coming back to gorilla position as well? All that backstage morale will be reset, and then it's going to be basically a low, all-time low once again.
Yeah, expect more Brock Lesnar.
Expect more Brock Lesnar. And for what now, you do realize if he does come back, that Roman and Rock might not happen.
Yeah.
Roman
Roman
yeah,
and Rock was guaranteed to happen even with Vince. He's been trying to get that match for years.
But
True.
even so, anything could change, Eric. And if nothing
Yeah.
else, Vince's fallback is Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let me call. Oh,
Well,
Brock.
he has Cody now, so he could use him.
I mean, will he push the Cody narrative? I don't know. Again,
I don't know, because from what I've heard, when underneath the Vince era, before Vince left, Cody was nowhere going to be in the WWE Championship picture until 2024.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But you want to know something else about Vince's return? When it was even suggested that Vince could try and come back, and the whole sale thing, and then when Vince did come back, guess what the stock investors did?
oh, here we
It
go.
went
Now
up.
we're getting into business.
Invest! We're going up!
We're going up.
Gonna
Yep.
buy, gonna buy, gonna buy, gonna buy, gonna buy, gonna
And
buy.
I was like, when is it going to tank when Vince starts to abuse his power?
Well, that's when you panic and you start to sell. Buy low, sell high. In this case, buy low, sell low. I mean, people would say, oh, he's the guy, though, that made the stock market peak. He's also the guy that made the stock market crash.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing. Apparently, if I can't be reading this correctly, apparently, if there could be a sale, there could not be a sale. And here's the other thing: WWE might go private.
Private? Wait.
Private.
How can you go private with all these public companies, and social, like, a partner? You can't go back to being private with how much you had invested outside the third-party marketing.
This is what was mentioned.
Public domain. Excuse me, public domain.
Yeah, this is what was mentioned by the employees meeting that happened at 3:30 earlier today.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
When they were all freaking out and they didn't know what the hell was going on. This is what happened. They had Stephanie, Nick Khan, and Frank had to lead this meeting, and they said, "Look, nothing is changing. Hopefully not. For now, we're still operating on the day-to-day operations. Vince is just here he's going to try and sell probable capacity." And then this was noted that the WWE sale could be a huge positive, and that they would be looking for potential sale offers before negotiating the rights fees. Vince will get the final say. They said a sale might not happen, and the company could be taken private if there is a sale.
But if the sale doesn't happen and it becomes private,
it'll still be public.
Like Noah said, how?
About to say, if the sale happens, the company stays public because it's no longer underneath this current business venture. It's under a new business venture. We've heard years and years about rumors of WWE trying to, be sold or sell. There's a reason why the network is sold to Peacock, and they made more money off of that, but the navigation still sucks.
Yeah. And here's the thing about that employee meeting. Emphasis on employees. No wrestlers were involved in that meeting. They were told, oh, all employees, hands on deck. Oh, except for you guys. I know you're all freaking out, but you'll know on the internet like the fans do.
Because the WWE superstars are independent contractors.
But like I said,
Andy
for now,
Rose's firing would beg to differ.
Yeah, again, does any more friggin' logic?
It's like unless you make more money than what the WWE is paying you, you're going to get the shaft, and that's exactly what happened to Mandy Rose.
Yeah, but you want to know something? What someone also pointed out, if the WWE managed to go private again.
What?
Okay, let me just give you an example. Randy Pitchford from Gearbox. He is a lying, narcissistic, crazy psychopath leading a gaming company. He runs it he has the company's private, which means no outside force can tell him, you gotta leave, man. So if Vince went and made WWE private, no one can stop him. He would basically be all public autocrat.
He would be permanent.
No investors would be able to tell him, you have to stop, man.
He could
permanent.
Do
whatever he wants. He could run carte blanche.
He would be unstoppable. He would be unmovable. He literally would be there until he goes to dust.
Until the Grim Reaper comes and gets him.
And he'll try and fight him probably in the middle of the ring.
And he'll probably get the pinfall.
By hook or by crook. Spirit Squad not included. Okay. So yeah, it sounds like a lot. Wow, I missed a lot today. So it sounds like
Yeah.
I definitely after 2 days of incredible pro
Well,
wrestling, now
guess
I have
what
to
did
worry
come
about
out after the Vince announcement, Noah?
what?
Basically, Wrestling Observer newsletter came out and said this. Take it for with a grain of salt from Dave. He basically said this: "Hey, Tony, this is Phil. Do you think I can come back and we can do business with the Elite?"
What?
As in CM Punk is pushing to come back to work
And do business. And I was
and do
like,
business.
so let's see if I get this straight. This just happens to happen when Vince is plotting his usurpation throne to return. Oh, I'm pretty sure Punk is thinking, I'd rather work with effing children than work with a senile sex pest.
I mean, the best of both worlds, I guess. The devil you know versus the devil you don't. The devil you can handle, which in CM Punk's case, I'm going to be honest, like Jeff said, is himself because he needed permanent time away from the business. But if CM Punk is willing to work and that makes money for the company, I can see the positive in that. But I still have to figure out what the locker room would think and deter about that. It's one thing for the Elite to be willing to work with the man. It's another thing for the rest of the roster to be willing to work with the man after CM Punk basically, what's the word I'm looking for? Insulted. Yeah, it downgraded and insulted what everybody's been trying to do in AEW since day one.
Yeah, but there was an update on that. Chris Jericho reportedly said to the locker room, "Never ever again am I going to let Punk come back."
Well, considering,
But here's the thing, and here's the thing though, ain't that Tony's job, not Jericho's?
Again, King, we talked about it. One man might have the wallet, might be the booker, but I don't think one man alone can run the entire company. Yes, he might have final say, but when you think about, locker room judgment, again, Chris Jericho, he does have more of a higher position in authority and creative control. There's a reason why we not only got the Action Andretti 1-2-3 Kid moment, Ricky Starks got to win on Dynamite.
Yeah,
that
also,
is true.
speaking of that Action Andretti thing, here's the thing. Chris Jericho reportedly had thought this idea to Tony Khan, like, look, I'm going to put this guy over 2 months from now. Yeah, this was planned 2 months ago when that match
on Dark. Yeah, because Jericho was watching Action Andretti on Dark.
Jericho watches the people on Dark to see, okay, who has the potential to be a guy in this industry. Not maybe the guy in the company, but somebody that can move forward. If Chris Jericho's got an eye for you, it's hard to argue with that man when it comes to creative input for talent.
Yes.
He's 31 years, still in the game, constantly reinventing
I can't disagree with the man. I mean, he's a future Hall of Famer for a reason.
In any company
and
at this
we
point.
Still have to remember he was the Ring of Honor champion, which is still weird to say.
I still can't believe I still can't believe we had the Ring of Jericho. And for what it was worth, it was highly entertaining and very competitive. Ishii and Claudio as the final two. That's a pretty cool summary.
And then the Ocho was
Brian's looking at Jericho and it's like, you stole my Ish moment. I wanted the bloody chests.
Again, it is what it is. Well, now we know what's ahead for AEW. Before we move into a different tangent, is there anything else anybody wants to add on this whole Vince McMahon back and stronger than ever campaign, it seems?
Let's see. They're still saying Triple H will retain creative control. I'm still saying for now.
Asterisks for now. Why I don't want to affirm that. It just feels like that. Again, folks, this is our subtle opinions. We know nothing. We don't work for the company. We don't have any stock. We are just fans with input. And it's constructive criticism, not some toxic, biased, self-righteous, propaganda. Anyway, continue, Eric.
Yeah, and let's see. This just happened right when Naomi was finally thinking, hey, WWE, I might come back. I'm thinking about it.
I gotta be honest. I'm surprised she was not with Mercedes Moné, which I know we'll talk about here in a little bit. Because
she was there, but she wasn't at the show. She wasn't participating.
Right. I was like, okay, why is she not part of the package of the CEO? Why is she not? Oh, I don't know. Maybe the assistant. The because it feels like to me, subtly going into this, Mercedes Moné, there might be more than just her going in New Japan Pro Wrestling Stardom. Just saying.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so guys, I just heard something from SmackDown. Okay, do you remember how they've been touting the match with Bray Wyatt and LA Knight, saying it's gonna be a pitch black match, which I found out was a Mountain Dew flavor they're using as a sponsor because we have to have a triggered past moment of the zombie scandal.
I literally went shopping yesterday with my mother. I was like, "Oh look, a new Mountain Dew, pitch black," and then I just realized.
Yeah.
Continue.
Well, guess what? Guess what LA Knight decided to say that makes me be like, how would that work? He says, at the Royal Rumble, when the lights go down, Bray Wyatt's lights go out. Yeah. Wait. Do you mean to tell me the lights are literally going to be off? Then what's the point of the match?
Well, okay, hold on. Play devil's advocate. We've seen boiler room brawls in near pitch darkness. We've seen darkness.
Yeah, but you still saw it.
Which is why I feel like under some capacity, this might literally be just black lights versus red lights. I mean, your definition of a dark match, the last dark match in WWE, pun intended, was NXT UK with Michael Satsumara and Alec Dawn, and it was more so just purple dark lighting and smoke around the ring. With Alec Dawn's character, though, it worked to a degree. With Bray Wyatt, I don't know. Especially with Fireflies about, just saying.
Oh, and also, one last thing about WWE. So Road Dogg went on his podcast because he's an employee, not an independent contractor. Therefore, it's completely different in Vince's third-party worldview.
Right.
Road Dogg decided to comment about the Bloodline storyline and fans' concerns about it. You know, like WWE giving all the belts to the Bloodline and the stranglehold they kind of hold on WWE roster.
I mean, I'm just saying, for once, he's not wrong. Continue.
Oh, no. I'm just listing what fans were saying.
Okay. He didn't say this. Okay. Because how many times
he wanted to give his thoughts on fans' complaints about the Bloodline storyline, like the NWO style attacks, the championship strangleholds, the Roman Reigns is basically God mode in this. Road Dogg decided to speak to the fans in a clear, concise manner.
Clear, concise manner. This should be good. Go for
You're
it.
all a bunch of haters. What's your position in WWE? I'm sure that is not going to help your image.
Well,
sad man.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. If he was simply a fan, he'd probably just call everybody marks of a different sort.
Oh God. Oh God. I just remembered something. I forgot to mention this to you guys.
What?
This is partially WWE related and yet partially not.
Yeah.
Logan Paul is in trouble.
What? Wait, who?
Logan Paul,
what?
You know, Logan Paul, the guy who signed to WWE, who had a match with Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and for what it was worth, I'll give the man credit. He showed out and injured himself.
You might want to take all that credit back.
Why?
What?
He did a crypto scam again.
Oh.
Well.
Oh, and he's threatening legal action against the guy who exposed him. And guess what? He had this whole crypto game he was developing. The team he hired apparently were burning $50,000 a week, and he hasn't paid them anything for the past year.
Well, live by the sword, die by the sword, especially in the internet community when it comes to cryptocurrency, you bloody loon.
And I was just like, hey, Vince, WWE, do you want to keep supporting Logan Paul like Warner Bros. Discovery likes to keep supporting Ezra Miller despite their horrible actions?
And the next thing you know, you're talking about Elon Musk and the Emo Bird app.
Oh, don't worry. Elon Musk says he will resign when he finds someone crazy enough to take his job, which I'll take it. I mean, like, I could probably kick some tribalists out of this.
Do you have the wallet?
Imagine if Elon Musk bought WWE after what he did with Twitter.
I mean, if we want to go into a sub-channel and talk about fantasy booking, who is the worst buyer for WWE at this point besides Saudi Arabia?
Let's see. I could think Elon Musk, Trump, Kim Jong-un.
Oh God!
Oh my!
That's a bold take. All right. So,
Yeah.
bottom line, WWE's future from a business standpoint is certain because Vince McMahon will direct it. WWE's future standpoint from creative positive morale standpoint, uncertain because Vince could destroy it.
Yes.
In a matter of any time.
And I would like to remind you all, we're not even a week out of this year.
Which is
And the Royal
crazy.
Rumble approaches. Which is
And
already
ain't
sold out.
it like the timing of how he comes back before even WrestleMania season gets started?
The road to WrestleMania, he kept that main event in line. He still wants Roman Reigns versus The Rock, which has to be etched in stone. He's going to dictate it one way or another. Now he's going to dictate maybe everything else on that card. Keyword maybe, nothing official. Keyword maybe everything else on that card. A Triple H creatively directed WWE might literally have just been a short-term dream.
Yeah, and Sasha, aka Mercedes, was right to leave. So let's do this. WWE is currently in a capsized state, and everyone else is doing pretty much fine, especially New Japan after WrestleKingdom week. Segue.
So that's why now, thank you for that story, Eric. Folks, let us know your thoughts on WWE's future in the comments down below, whether Vince McMahon takes back full control. Let's go ahead and change tangents to the other beginning this year that definitely kicked things off in a huge way, but in a much more positive light. New Japan Pro Wrestling, WrestleKingdom 17. And for this, I'm going to let my Ollie cohort here lead this conversation. Anthony, it was WrestleKingdom 17, the first time we had a WrestleKingdom that felt normal since before 2020. 26,000 plus on hand, audibly heard as well, celebrating the man that founded the company in the first place, Antonio Inoki, with the return of a cleaner that gave us a dream match to remember, and so many more moments too, including one that you could bank is going to make a lot of money, particularly for one, Monet, particularly, and we already have a pay-per-view booked for February that's already helping the show sell out. But let's go ahead and focus primarily on what happened on January 4th and move into the events that conspire to follow. So take it away, man. Your thoughts on what has been New Japan Pro Wrestling's 51st year beginning.
Man, I didn't get to watch the pre-show because, I wanted to catch some Z's before 2 a.m. Central. I wanted to catch some Z's before 2 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I did that.
All right.
But when 2 a.m. hit, oh my goodness. I was ready. I was pumped. I was energized, even though I had work in about 5 hours later. But knowing that it was a 4-hour show, my takeaway was, first of all, it's good to see Kenny back in a New Japan Pro Wrestling ring. He was greatly missed, and that Sephiroth Final Fantasy entrance blew me away, along with Will Ospreay bringing back Elevated, which I'm like, okay, so Kenny is bringing back Sephiroth, and Will Ospreay is bringing back Elevated, and I'm like, okay, handcuffs are off, and we're about to. I hope everybody is buckled up and ready to go for this match. And basically, the dream match lived up to the hype. And as we will talk about New Year's Dash in a little bit later about Will Ospreay on that 6-man tag, which I think he was unhinged from a standpoint.
I think that word there, jeez.
And
he wasn't the only one either that night.
And everybody wants to talk about the watch. Even though New Japan World went up in subscribers, they went up in revenue because of WrestleKingdom and New Year's Dash, but everybody wants to talk about Mercedes' botch, and everybody wants to talk about the promo. I'm going to start with the botch. It's a botch, okay? Let it go, people. It happens in wrestling.
Every day it happens in wrestling. You kidding me?
And she was trying to do a gory bomb and transition into a DDT. That's exactly what she was trying to do. Heck, she even posted videos about it when she was training with Kalisto in Mexico. So get over it. 2, it's going to take some time for her to get adjusted. Basically, okay, I can't be forced to say this. I can't, I have freedom now with my promos and everything. Because you can kind of tell, in which I kind of noticed it just a tad bit, that WWE stench in her promo.
Yep. Big time.
Like, and of course, Vince poisoned her. Well, Vince and Bruce, I should say, poisoned her with the way how you should cut a promo for the last 7 to 8 years or so, in which I'm gonna let that slide on that part as well, because she was underneath that company for so many years that she's adjusted to that promo style. So
yeah,
you can honestly,
it's sort of like how people were flacking on Jim Ross and saying, why is he mentioning WWE in his AEW commentary? And it's like, dude, the guy's been working there for like over 20 years.
I'm about to say, when the WWE literally becomes your life, not part of your life, but your life, it's hard to get away from it, let alone reset. There's a reason why Ruby Soho loves the fact that AEW, she can find herself, beat herself, challenge herself. Anyway, continue.
And it's like I said, the WWE stage is there. What we go? We're going to give her time to adjust. I mean,
it's not going to happen overnight. Duh.
Exactly. And plus, while everybody was talking about the whole Vince news, Reese Graham, who used to cover the Dallas news, he reported on Twitter earlier today, as soon as before we went on the air, that while everybody is talking about the whole Vince news, Mercedes Moné has booked a flight this morning to return to the States. Gee, I wonder where she's going.
Well,
I'm sure Soraya's going to be happy about that. She's going to need it after what happened on Dynamite. What's going to happen next week eventually.
I think we know what's ahead for some of the women's division and AEW. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Continue the WrestleKingdom stuff, King.
Yeah, but Jay White and Kazuchika Okada, I gave props to them because Luck had to be on their side to try and follow up Ospreay and Omega, because that was in the spot that they were in. Oh my God, like in the spot that they were in, it was basically impossible to try and top that, because Ospreay and Omega went to war. But according to Dave Meltzer, they got held back.
No, they held themselves back because they think we're going to make more matches. And I was like, wait. That was them restraint?
I'll say.
What happened when they were let loose?
Ospreay literally could have concussed himself to death.
And Omega could have been right back on the injured reserve list again.
Yes.
I'm wondering. I'm still wondering how his right eye is.
Ospreay endangering himself every week on every show on New Japan. It's more like an average Tuesday for him. Remember, 1 minute he's fighting Kota Ibushi. He nearly gets concussed. Then the next week he's fighting Marty Scurll and twists his neck in the middle of the ring.
And this guy also.
The next day.
And I just want to add, this guy that we're talking about, Will Ospreay, also came back from a life-threatening kidney disease.
Yes.
Yeah.
That could have ended his life.
It could have. And now Okada is back on top once again.
Yeah. Here's the thing about Okada being back on top. I was like, can we get someone new?
He's the company man. He's the company man, Eric. He's the front runner.
He is the face of New Japan for a reason.
And
here's the problem I have with it. It's like, once you're being told you're going to carry the Olympic torch, it's like, what's left for you, man? You did everything in life now. You carried the Olympic torch.
He wants to continue.
Another run with the belt, win the G1. Can you give someone else that chance?
If that's what Okada believes he needs to do to elevate what he still believes is the best wrestling company on the planet, to elevate New Japan Pro Wrestling for the next 50, 100 years, then unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, but could he okay, I know what I'm about to say is sacrilege for Okada probably now, but how about this? How about you, I don't know, give us a new character act?
You mean like he did on his way to All In when he lost the title, place?
When he lost the 2-year title, he had a character, and then when he got it back, he just went back to being Okada before he lost the belt, and it was like, I kind of miss the red hair, going a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs Okada, because his life was defined by the belt, and when he lost it, he just lost part of his identity and just went cuckoo.
I kind of can understand that retrospective, Eric, when I think about this. Utami Hayashita, the former holder back at the end of 2021 of the World of Stardom Championship, when she lost it, she still continued her way through Stardom, being basically the ace of that company, despite the fact the Icon been there since day one, the two most top political people in that company's history, bar none. And still, Utami, she still carried herself like a champion without having a belt, and at times had fun. I still go back and rewatch when Tommy sung Tam Nakano's theme and mocked her as the cutest. And I'm not gonna lie, I think Utami was cuter than Tam Nakano. I know I just said that, right? People are gonna probably get on my case about that. Sorry, not sorry. But the fact she was able to just, be that free form, still though, to be herself in that royalty type display. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Okada show a little bit more flexibility in his character, not always having to be serious with a guy at the forefront. Again, Utami Hayashita, she held that title for a year.
Yeah, I recall watching a video saying, like, I'm a huge fan of Okada and saying this and that about Okada and all his accomplishments. But here's the best way someone described Okada. And when I heard this, I was like, yeah, that kind of describes what he is. He's a belt on legs. He's a golden belt on legs. It's like, go out, do matches, be awesome. What your personality? Oh, nah, you're just a golden ticket thing for matches. It's quality.
He's the guy that sells. He's the face of the company. He's the guy that sells, but he does feel a little bit one-dimensional.
Here's another thing I've been wondering. Two things, actually. One, can we have him compete for another title? I know he's been defined by the world title, but can we give another belt for him to fight in? I mean,
like what? The never open weight championship?
No. Jay White holding that was weird already. I don't want to be weirded like that.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
How about the U.S. title or hell, bring back the Intercontinental belt? That was the more prestigious looking belt.
Yes, I missed that white belt.
Still hurts me to this day. Kona, what were you thinking? But to go along your point, Eric, Casey Muto, Pro Wrestling Noah, GSC Heavyweight Champion.
Speaking of Muto, I'm glad you segued into that. This man was literally trying to do a moonsault, but Hiroshi stopped him.
Thank Christ.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why too. You want to walk still?
Yeah, basically. Oh god, I just had this thought. Imagine if Hiroshi Tanahashi was at Ric Flair's last match show and he was like, "Don't do it."
Ric Flair would have slapped the taste out of his mouth and still would have done it.
Yeah, probably.
Although I never seen Ric Flair do a moonsault, thankfully.
Nor a high flying type of arsenal. Thank God.
Actually, he has done a couple high flyings, when he won the Intercontinental title in 2006, I think, against Carlito.
It was 2008.
2008. Yeah, you're right.
No, right before he feuded with Triple H after he came back from Raw Homecoming.
Oh, yeah, that is right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Forgot about that.
Wasn't Ric Flair also in a tables, ladders, and chairs match with Edge?
Yes,
he was.
Yes, he was.
He was. We all saw how that worked out, right? Anyway.
Also, yeah, when I heard the whole, but beyond that, moving on, when I was trying to wonder, where does Jay White go from here?
Let's see. According to Fightful from yesterday, I mean, because we're going to segue here in the New Year's Dash. Jay White, of course, y'all heard Jay White made the stipulation of loser leaves New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Well, accordingly, leaves town. Let's be specific here, King. Loser leaves town. That just leaves Japan. You're still in New Japan. You just can't wrestle literally in the heart of it.
And according to Fightful, they wasn't looking about for Jay White because Jay White still has 2 years left in the contract in NJPW. They're instead interested in getting Hikuleo.
WWE is.
He is a big dude. I'm putting it out there. He is a big dude.
6'9", but 6'9", but that tells me all this time that you try to put into Omos and have an MVP align himself with him, and then you're interested in getting Hikuleo.
They're gonna have all the giants. They're gonna have all the giants. Damn it, all the giants.
Well, the next thing I'm gonna hear is basically Hikuleo versus oh Jesus no.
You just put it out there. You know what's gonna happen now. You just put it out there.
Wait, I think that even AEW is interested in him.
At least Satnam Singh is much more capable against Hikuleo than the other dude he was about to say.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
I gotta mention this.
Go ahead.
I wanted to mention this. Jeff Jarrett's running AEW.
We were 10 seconds in of him becoming a tag team champion.
Yeah, I know. But here's the thing.
Shit.
At least he's redeeming himself from that last Ric Flair's last match thing. But here's the thing. I'll only label Jeff Jarrett's in-ring run in AEW success if he feuds with Eddie Kingston and we get the biggest merch sale of Redeem These Slapnuts. That's the only way I'll declare Jeff Jarrett's in-ring career a success.
Well,
I want to see that promo program now. Damn it, Eric. I want to see that promo program now. That's the last.
That's the only way I will declare Jeff Jarrett's run in AEW in-ring wise a success. Here's the thing.
Oh gosh.
Here's what I'm gonna say, and Jeff Jarrett might be offended by what I'm about to say. Jeff, Double J, you'll finally make dime.
Ouch.
You'll finally draw a dime with Eddie Kingston holding your hand.
He would chew you out. I'll tell you right now, you would have clipped
this. Yeah, he would.
He would chew your ass out.
But since I was talking about New Year's Dash, other than what you redeemed these slapnuts, I can't believe I kind of want to see that too now.
I mean, to be fair, there was AEW talk in the backstage comments concerning particularly one match we saw that I thought never in my wildest dreams I would see.
And never thought in my 2023 bingo card on New Year's Dash that two of one of New Japan's, the biggest New Japan pro wrestling rivalry in its professional wrestling history would ever team up against Aaron Hanare and Jeff Cobb. That was not on my 2023 bingo card whatsoever. Oh. And they make it work like they're basically LeBron James and Michael Jordan in the same court.
Yes.
A Rainmaker V trigger combo.
I lost my shit. I'm not gonna lie. Cindy and I lost our shit. What the fuck? Okada and Omega tagging together. The ultimate rivalry. The greatest tag team I've ever seen in pro wrestling. When it comes to prestige,
here's the thing. At Forbidden Door 2, they have to do this match. AEW acquires Kota Ibushi. New Japan's Okada fights for the custody of Kenny Omega.
Oh, Jesus.
Golden Lovers forever.
That's all I'm gonna say. Kenny did post on Instagram with the picture of Okada saying, "Did we just become friends?"
Okay, there's a little bit of character humor in Okada. I mean, did they?
Okay, can we have that on TV and not on Instagram?
I don't know. The man fishes in his spare time, for Pete's sake. The last thing Okada says is, I'm going to be 100% by the next tour. I'm banged up right now, and honestly, I'm not surprised you're still breathing straight after what Aaron Hanare and Jeff J. White did to you. And we're going to see Omega and Cobb here pretty soon, and Shingo and Okada looks like it'll be the next matchup. And Shingo, once again, KOPW 2023 Provisional Champion, although Brito Khan, has put his name out there to challenge Shingo maybe for that title. And speaking of titles,
Jeff Cobb is saying he's going to see Kenny Omega in the U.S.
Exactly, and Kenny Omega says, "Come see me in AEW." So, Cal Palace, just saying. Just saying.
Well,
considering.
Also, I remember the other thing I wanted to point out about Okada. How about we give Okada something new and challenging to do, like wrestle Jon Moxley in a hardcore wrestling match?
I feel like they're planting the seeds for Jon Moxley to finally face the Rainmaker, because they did talk about the last time Okada tagged with someone in AEW. How'd that work out? Not so friendly. Why Jon Moxley didn't attack the Rainmaker? He basically left that match because he was assaulting Minoru Suzuki. We also heard Zack Sabre Jr. say, "Up yours, Jon Moxley. I have a young boy of my own now, and he'll be better than what you did with the roughneck Shota Umino."
Which I'm glad you said about Suzuki, because after that Ren Narita, like that match within that, because Suzuki came out and made the save on Narita, and so did El Despy. But Despy and Suzuki fist bump because, of course, Suzuki Goon always for life,
Damn
even
right.
though they disbanded.
Don't remind me.
But they walked past Narita. Like, what was that about?
Well, Narita did leave the same entrance with them, and talking about titles, King, every title in New Japan Pro Wrestling right now has a story for their first opponents. Sounds like Ren Narita, Minoru Suzuki, and El Dorado are looking to finally take the 6-man Never Openweight Tag Team Championships from the House of Torture. And that was just our opener.
Why you and then you have, speaking about, you know, former members of Suzuki Goon, do you have, let's see, that 6-man with TMDK, which Zack Sabre Jr., TMDK with Shane and Mikey.
They go all the way back to Pro Wrestling Noah when Zack Sabre Jr. worked with those two, taking on New Japan Pro Wrestling at the time. So they have a long story history, which I find very surprising.
Of course,
that now Zack Sabre Jr. is the front man of TMDK, the Mighty Don't Kneel.
And you know, NJPW World Television Champion, which, by the way, that title looks like a grandparents' television box. But I digress on that part.
Oh, come on, that title has class. It looks great. By the way, Kia and Narita, what a freaking match!
What a 15-minute match that was. But just for guys, really, Taka? That's the new name of you, Taichi, Kanemaru, and
Doki.
what's the other one's name?
Doki.
And Doki. Just for guys?
It's Doki King. They did it, Doki.
Also, I wanted to mention this. I wanted to mention this.
Go ahead.
I miss Gino.
Why was Kyrie and Tam Nanako fight only less than 6 minutes?
Oh, I forgot to talk about that. Oh my God.
Well,
I know we talked about Mercedes, but why was the Stardom match 6 minutes?
I posted on Twitter that morning. I said you could have given it 5.
You put more retrospective on that versus the aftermath. That was longer than the match itself.
In fact, I think the entrances were longer.
Yeah, you might have been right, honestly. But for what it was worth, Tam Nakano, congratulations. You women made history. First singles match in Tokyo Dome for an IWGP Women's Championship. I really wish it went longer, but damn, Kyrie has the most.
Oh, by the way, you want to know what they touted about this match? And this is the thing that really annoyed me, why it was so short. This is the first official women's match on WrestleKingdom since '94.
Correct.
Yep, they talked about it on commentary.
And I was like, so you're going to acknowledge that and then give them a time limit that makes AEW's matches look like they were masterpiece of long range.
And honestly, as far as AEW TV matches, you could count maybe on 1 to 2 hands actual masterpieces worth of matches. 2 of them happening super recently. 1 of them was only on TV.
Yeah.
Last year.
She didn't hate her.
Yeah, and that was still an awesome match, but
right, 20-minute strong style. And speaking of strong style, you talk about Zack Sabre Jr. Looks like strong style versus strong style. My boy Tomoyasu, he wants a piece of Zack Sabre Jr. and the
yes, he does.
Championship. Is he for champion?
Ishii.
Already?
He just won the belt.
Okay, but still, he should be a champion.
There is something I can mention about Minoru Suzuki though.
By the way, best hat in the business. Sorry, Julia Hart. Continue.
Yeah.
So
great.
Apparently, WWE fans watched the show and watched Minoru Suzuki. Guess what they all did? And this is the shocking.
Oh, I gotta hear this. Go ahead.
What?
They said, wait, Minoru Suzuki is how old? Oh God, Ric Flair is lazy. Yeah,
wow.
They praised
Actual
Minoru
compliment.
Suzuki and bashed Ric Flair.
Damn.
Actual compliment. Wow.
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, Minoru Suzuki, he's still working damn strong perfectly. Just saying.
Yeah.
And he has singles ambitions to go after the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. That's his ultimate goal. So, yeah, to wrap a bow on anything else, unless you have any other retrospective you have as far as match highlights and title setups that came before I do the quick rundown of results and what's to come. What else do you have on your mind, man?
Oh, let's see. I pretty much don't got nothing, really. It was a good good New Japan on their end.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, one more thing before we close on this New Japan talk about.
Go ahead.
Naito and Shota. Give me that match, please.
Shota Umino's got some balls to go after the ungovernable one, man. That's all I gotta say. I'm liking this dynamic of this program. The confidence in this young man since coming back from excursion and his work done in Rev Pro. Unmatched. And apparently Tanahashi has seen that. And Tanahashi, again, you want to talk about guys that reinvent. How about the guy that never quits? Literally now his Titantron says Iron Will. How fitting. So we'll see what that means for Tanahashi going forward. But yeah, WrestleKingdom 17, honestly, I'm just going to ask you both this right now. Was WrestleKingdom 17 stronger than WrestleKingdom 12?
Close.
Maybe.
Close.
In some areas.
All right. So yeah, WrestleKingdom 17 had their kickoff. They introduced us to a young lion. Great amateur wrestling showcase for 3 minutes. Bolton Olak, someone to watch out for. Taking on Oiwa. We had the commemorative 6-man Antonio Inoki match with 3 generations of Inoki-inspired individuals. Minoru Suzuki, Tiger Mask, Tetsumi Fujinami, of course, taking on Satoshi Kojima, Yuji Nagata, and Togi Makabe. And, of course, we had the KOPW Rambo, where the final 4 was Great-Dokkan, Shingo Takagi, Sho, and freaking Phantom of Existence, Toriano.
Yeah.
Then we go into the main card. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions did not change hands. Yoli Rush came up short. Great experience by TJP came into play. TJP, Francisco Akira retained. The second match, the IWGP Women's Championship match, maybe around 5 to 6 minutes. But again, find me a person with a tougher spinning back fist, more lethal spinning back fist right now than Kyrie. Jesus. Tem Nakano stopped in time before she fell for the second time. Insane elbow, Kyrie Tina against Tem Nakano, game effort. And then Mercedes Moné debuted, shocked the world in a way. And that definitely helps spike subscribers and apparently helps sell out practically Bound the Valley, as we now know, Bound the Valley next month on pay-per-view that our friend Steam DG is going to. Mercedes Moné will challenge Kyrie for the IWGP Women's Championship.
Also, I have an update from what WWE's reaction was to Mercedes Moné's debut.
I was curious if there was anything regarding that.
WWE reportedly thinks this about Sasha, about her going to New Japan. Just let her go there. She'll get out of her system, and by the end of it, she'll be back with us. You did not gaslight everything.
That ain't happening. That's not happening.
You once were ours. You will be ours again. Damn it.
Yeah, they definitely think that they for some reason think that, Sasha, she's just emotional. She'll get over it. She'll just do her thing in Japan.
Right.
She'll just stick around here.
But didn't they move her quietly to the alumni section yesterday?
Yeah, some people are in denial about that.
Saying it so.
Yeah.
Might I add, Bailey was there with her in support.
Along with Trinity.
And you don't think Bailey and Naomi, while watching New Japan Pro Wrestling, is like thinking about when their contracts are up, possibly in the near future, to probably leverage to try and go and leave the WWE for quite some time?
That reminds me about Bailey. I gotta bring this up for all the people who are obsessed for her in the provocative way. Apparently, she has a permanent injury of ACL that prevents her from wearing shorts, so no one will ever see her.
Oh, that's
apparently. Yeah, she revealed that in a video a while back, and I had just found out about it, and now people are like, Vince, how dare you injure a girl? Now we'll never see her in shorts.
I'm just glad Bailey's able to walk and actually wrestle. If that's the case, jeez. Again, the rest of the industry, but
that's why she has to wear long tights or leather tights on her.
Oh, fair enough. Well, at least she's back.
I gotta ask, what was that New Japan Pro Wrestling match they said was the first women's match in the Tokyo Dome? What was it?
Was it? Oh, good Lord. I think that was before my time. It was back in 1990, right? That was before I was
1994
born.
1994 to be exact.
1994. I was only 2 years old at the time. I would have to look that up. I don't know if the top
I was
of my
just born. I was just born in 94. So I wouldn't know.
I literally had. Yeah, I'm trying to figure about. I don't think it was over a championship either. I I don't know, honestly. I have to look that up. I was literally born just shortly after what some people call the best Royal Rumble ever, 1992.
Yeah, I'm trying to find what exactly it was because I just wanted to see the comparison of a.
I know Bull Nakano was probably involved, probably because I know they talked about that with Tam Nakano. No relation, by the way. Because again, Tam Nakano and Kyrie joined a very elite, short list of athletes to compete singles wise in the Tokyo Dome. Kyrie, though, to her extent of her career, she joins an even more exclusive list of individuals that competed not only in New Japan in the Tokyo Dome, but also competed on the grandest stages in WWE. Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yeah, because I was hoping to know what it was so I could like make a comment about the women's match in 2023.
You would have to look at if it was at Tokyo Dome, you have to look at Tokyo Dome January 4th events and see what that event was. It had to be called the Games of a different name of sorts, because I know I was researching that when I looked up Antonio Inoki and Keiji Muto ahead of my simple predictions and preview video with FTW Productions, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up myself ahead of the review. Stay tuned, folks, for a simple recap review further with me, James, Casey, and possibly Kuzan as well Sunday on WrestleKingdom and New Year's Dash. As he looks that up, we talk about international showcasing, crossover, and people making history. FTR made their way in the Tokyo Dome for the first time ever, competed against Bishamon. Bishamon won back the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, as we saw. Great match. We crowned the first NJPW World Television Championship. Zack Sabre Jr. submitted Ren Narita, nearly took his left arm off his body as Katsuyori Shibata, heavily influenced by both, watched on from ringside. Tama Tonga finally surpassed his master, and according to the backstage, Carl was very proud, and apparently Tama Tonga's daughter, that was cute, has nothing really bad against Uncle Carl. So I guess the feeling is mutual. Congrats, Tama Tonga, once again, never overweight champion. The genius himself, Keiji Muto, won his final match in NJPW at the Tokyo Dome alongside Tanahashi and Shota Umino against Los Nobles de Japón, Bushi, Sanada, and Naito. Bushi, surprise, surprise, in the fall. Did I not call it? I'm just saying, did I not freaking call it? Fatal four-way for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, and this is another thing that people might be getting tired. And you want to talk about faces, at least Hiromu's got, I don't know what you call it, personality, character, more of something. Now he's a 5-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion when Master Wato came this close, beating Tajimori, Master Wato, and El Desperado. And as you subtly alluded to when it came to the story, Tom, with the really 40-minute conversation in one cleaner's backstage comments between Kenny by God Omega and Will Ospreay, where Will Ospreay tried to use what made him great in the past to shape him for the present, to try and guide himself to a brighter future, still was not enough. And in our main event, Switchblade Jay White was outpowered and outmatched by Kazuchika Okada on the grandest stage of them all, making the record 4-2, and Okada being the second person ever to kick out of the Blade Runner. And that was WrestleKingdom. And New Year's Dash literally set up a title program for every freaking championship in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Simply put, just for guys. That is the dumbest name for a group I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it is.
Would you prefer
yes,
that?
It is.
Would you prefer that or House of Torture?
I retract my statement. Calm down, King. Minoru Suzuki, Ren Narita, and Desperado have set sights on the 6-minute heavyweight championships against House of Torture. Please win. By the way, Yujiro, where's Pita? I was expecting Pita. Where's Pita?
Me too.
That disappointed me. I'm just gonna say it. There's only that's one of two bunnies I actually care about in the industry. Where's Pita? Anyway, sorry, not sorry. Just for guys made their official announcement, led by Taka. Now, whether or not Taka is gonna be actually competing or just managing, don't know. The guy can pull up a suit though. I'll give him credit. As Doki, Taiji, and Yoshinobu Kawamaro, Doki once again getting the better of the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, setting him and Kamaru up for a title shot. While Will Ospreay, one of you talking about him becoming Unravel, seems to now be in a year-long get together or go somewhere else journey, and it looks to start it against the Holy Emperor. Taiji, I'm looking very forward to this exhibition. When you think about the Black Saint of New Japan that's come so far as a wrestler versus somebody that virtually felt like he was on top, but can't overcome the greatest things in New Japan Pro Wrestling, Okada and Omega. I gotta imagine that's gotta be some point on his list to try and overcome this year. We also, of course, found out that Bishamon are going to defend, most likely, the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships against TMDK's Shane Hayes and Mikey Nichols, while Zack Sabre Jr. will be defending the NWW World Championship against Tomoshi E and training his own personal young boy in Kosei Fujita. Why we was like, what about me, man?
Which, by the way, before I let you continue,
go ahead.
Has ever a young lion been recruited by a faction?
Not that I can recall, if I'm honest with you.
I know. Like, do you want to count Blackpool Combat Club unofficially with Moxley and Shota Umino?
Yeah, before Blackpool Combat Club was a thing, though, I mean, he was under the learning tree, I feel like, a John Moxley, but he was never really recruited anything. I mean, Death Riders never became truly a faction in New Japan Pro Wrestling, so I would say no. I know Greto Khan at one point was trying to recruit Yota Tsuji from underneath Tanahashi. Yeah. That's why we had that one-on-one program. Never came to be. So I would say, no, that's certainly a first. And I don't know necessarily how far that's going to go. According to Backstage, though, Zack Sabre Jr. is going to do everything he can with this guy, including teach him English. I guess that means learning more than just the word dickhead.
Right.
Oh, God, that's freaking funny. I don't care what you tell me. That's still freaking funny. Shota Umino, as you alluded to, looks like he's setting up a program with Tetsuya Naito, so we'll see how that's going to be. I guarantee it's not going to be tranquilo. EOP took the cheap way out and hit Tamatonga in the face with the belt, the Neverweight Championship. But looks like he wants to go after the title, while Tamatonga called out him to quit acting like a bitch. Face me one-on-one like a man. Speaking of one-on-one, one person will leave Japan forever. As Switchblade Jay White followed up with his backstage comments and challenged Hikuleo after I feel like he was more unraveled than freaking Will Ospreay. Assaulted the man with a chair and a blade rod to the point. Kenta, ELP were kind of like, calm down, man. It's freaking over. Why Kenta feels like he's going to be facing Tanahashi forever and is freaking sick of it. And Taiji Ishimori, he's pissed off against Master Wato particularly. Why Hiromu was pinned by Yo, and it looks like Yo wants to go after the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship with a more renewed confidence than ever. So, credit's due. Good for him. And, of course, as you alluded to in the main event, Aaron Henare came this close to pinning the Rainmaker. Why Shigeru Takagi? He's going to face the Rainmaker first for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And Kenny Omega shocked us all. Definitely brought more eyes to New Japan World in the longest time. And Jeff Common and Kim are set up for a collision course some point in AEW. Would not surprise me if it's in the Cow Palace, where that title was first incepted with Kenny Omega beating the Stone Pit Bull for it. And that was New Japan's literal beginning ahead of the New Beginning tour, despite the fact Pro Wrestling Noah and NJPW will have a crossover WrestleKingdom event during that time.
I found it.
Oh, good. What was it?
Oh God.
Uh-oh. I don't like this.
To be fair, this was probably under the short-term era of Inokiism, if not near its end. So I can't wait to hear what this was.
It was New Japan.
Oh, okay.
And was it New Japan?
Women's wrestling. It was all Japan. Women's pro wrestling.
That makes sense because that's
and guess what the match was for that was for the women's title.
Go ahead.
Medusa?
Bull Nanako and WWF Women's Champion Alundra Blaze.
I knew it.
Except you want to know something I found out? And when you hear this, I'm just going to tell you, you're going to look at Triple H and say, hey, Triple H, your Evolution show sucked. You didn't do what they did. You want to know what they did?
What?
This was an all women's promotion match, a pay-per-view event called Big Egg Wrestling Universe that took place in the Tokyo Dome on November 20th. It was attended by 32,000 fans, but it might have been over 42,000.
And
you want to know how long the show lasted?
Well, you're only talking about one match, so I imagine.
That one match was about 9 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay, so trying to run the course.
Yeah.
But how long was the show?
Yeah.
10 hours.
Jesus.
It was an all-women show, 10-hour extravaganza.
How long was
All the
that match?
matches.
How long was that match card?
Let's see. The longest match on that card was the 19th match of 23 matches.
23 matches.
Okay, even I'm not that crazy, believe it or not, folks.
Yeah, there were 23 matches on the show. The longest match was AJ Kong and Akira, can't pronounce her last name. It was 20 minutes and 24 seconds. And there was a special impromptu men's match that lasted just 1 minute and 46 seconds, 21 minutes and 46 seconds. But the longest women's match was AJ Kong versus Akira, I can't pronounce the last name. That lasted 20 minutes and 24 seconds. And it generated $4 million in revenue and 1.6 million merchandise sales.
Back in the 1990s, might I add.
Yeah.
That is groundbreaking. That is incredible to hear. And people
and you want to know what they also mentioned? Apparently, this was a cross-promotional one. It featured Joshi Promotions Gaia Japan, GWP, Ladies Legend Pro Wrestling, as well as other shows like Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling, Michinoku Pro Wrestling, WWF.
Yeah.
In addition to wrestlers, the event also featured some male wrestlers, midget wrestlers, female amateur wrestlers, female kickboxers, and female shootboxers.
My goodness.
Can you imagine?
And they lasted for 10 hours.
Can you imagine AEW trying to do something like that where people are like, your pay-per-views are already long, and they do 15 matches in 4 hours.
Don't give Tony any ideas.
Forbidden Door 2.
No.
Hey, I think now you can all take back WrestleMania's longness that lasted till midnight. Remember that one? That was the time the Japan show was.
Yeah, it was 7 hours if you include the 2-hour kickoff, and that doesn't include you waiting in line before the doors open, and that does not include the fact that literally that show had 10 matches overall, I think, some nonsense like that. So yeah, Oofa Magoofa, you're talking about the longest match. That might be the longest wrestling show I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, in fact, let me double check to see what's the longest wrestling show just for the hell of it.
Oh, well, this is again, folks, that's New Japan Pro Wrestling 51st year beginning. To change a little bit of a tangent, Stardom is already kicking things off with their Triangle Derby as Mina Shirakawa started her own group, Club Venus, bringing back NXT UK superstar, former Stardom player, Zaya Brookside underneath her group, which I find very interesting. And of course, Prominence, they are right now the ones that invaded last year with the Artists of Stardom championships, winning them off Rail Tide at the end of last year. Julia now leads the company as the World Stardom champion, joining the 3 Daughters of Stardom, Kairi, Mayu Itani, and Io Shirai, as holders of not only the white belt, but the red belt. And her first challenger will be Zulu Suzuki, someone she knows very well, going all the way back to her time in Providence. And the last time these two went one-on-one, 15-minute draw during the 5-star Grand Prix. As Saya Kamatani still has the white belt, looking to surpass not only Tem Nakano's reign, but the record defense is held by Momo Watanabe as she continues to showcase this talent and take on all comers, taking on Ami Sarai, the future of a Stardom champion. And also, along with that, looks like the never-ending feud with Asume and Starlight Kid will be rekindled as Starlight Kid looks to once again go after the high-speed championship. And that's just some of your highlights right now going on in Stardom during what now is their trios tournament called the Triangle Derby. Much more to come, especially in Osaka next month in February. So, Eric, did you find that little tip?
Yeah, it's that pay-per-view I was talking to you about, the Big Egg Wrestling. That's the longest pay-per-view event in history of wrestling. Okay. And here's the thing. And then you got to remember, this show was in the Tokyo Dome, 42,000. It made $8 million in the 90s when women's wrestling was considered who cares about women's wrestling?
To be
$8
fair, that was the notion held by us here in America. I say us, talking about
it was even a nation Japan.
Well, Japan's very particular, I understand, though. But I feel like, again, you got to look at both sides differently. While they both still had that retrospective, I feel Japan was much more critical about it versus America at the time. Not that I'm a historian, I'm just saying.
But yeah, it was like you had, and imagine you all complained about the WrestleMania, how people were tired and numb and everything. Imagine if you were there for 10 hours.
I can't even imagine sitting in a 10-hour seat, let alone sitting in a room for 10 hours. Now, truth be told, you lay in your bed, but you're asleep consciously for 8, sometimes 12 hours if you're me. What? But I mean, sitting, watching a single
And here's the thing.
constant
This was
thing for 10 hours.
And then you got to remember this. This was an inside arena, no open skies, and everyone's cuddled together in 42,000 people in the Tokyo Dome.
Imagine walking out that building and you realize what sunlight looks like, unless it's night. I can see. 10 hours. King, what's the longest? Let's just put it out there. We watch AEW, but let's try and be realistic here. Because what does YouTube do? Crazy loop videos and all day long live streams of things like wrestling. I know Pro Wrestling Eve and Tower Match Wrestling does that, particularly women's matches. What's the longest you can remember staying in one stationary spot, watching something, wrestling or not?
WrestleMania 32.
Well, yeah.
WrestleMania 32.
I mean, you didn't get up from your seat at all for the merchandise stand or a bathroom break?
No, but I just basically, like, I didn't, no bathroom break. Wasn't even hungry. I just sat there in that one spot near ringside.
Now, were you
The
there?
longest I ever sat for something was Avengers Endgame, which was 3 hours.
Yeah, well, that's a movie. He was there at a friggin' professional wrestling event with 100,000 plus people in the AT&T Stadium. I imagine you were there during kickoff and not beforehand.
Yeah.
So you were there likely for about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 6 hours in that seat alone.
Oh, along with some friends. Yes, I was.
Good Lord. 10 hours though. That's too much. I mean, again, 7 hours. WrestleMania 35, I think, is still the longest one in history. And people fell asleep during Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. And that was like halfway in the show, I think. If halfway. I think that was right after the Iconics won the freaking
WrestleMania 35, was it?
Yeah, it was.
It was 5 hours and 20 minutes.
Where everyone got blinded by the red light outside.
The red light outside. Were you talking about a traffic light?
No, the Randy Orton AJ Styles match.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We can't see. We can't see. We can't see. I remember that. They couldn't even see the Titantron because the lights were so damn bright they were reflecting off the damn Titantron screens.
Oh, God. That's insane to hear that there was a pay-per-view that was double the length of WrestleMania 35.
With over double the matches. Put that in perspective. Why AEW has done 15 matches in 4 hours, 0 hour included.
Oh, God.
The quantity
I hope he
versus the
changes
quality.
that formula this year. I hope he changes that formula. I really do hope.
Well, let's go ahead and close this thing up by talking about AEW's year so far with the new AEW. Maybe what we can expect, maybe from hopefully a new production standpoint. As we saw, bringing that sports-eccentric feel, they now are red versus blue from the ground up. Titantron colors included. Bye-bye tunnels. I like the sense. Got a more, I want to say simpler aesthetic, but it still feels big. And overall, it definitely feels, easier to look at. You notice the AEW logo now is all white, no gold letter in the middle. I wonder if you noticed that particularly, King. And so far, we're kind of seeing the direction of the wrestlers they're going to, I feel like, rely on to kick things off. Darby Allin beat the King of Television for the TNT Championship, become 2-time TNT champion. Ricky Starks beat Chris Jericho in the opener, but it looks like he and the Jericho Society are going to have a program. So Ricky Starks need to absolutely find some company. A Lucha Underground rivalry was renewed between AR Fox and Swerve, as again, we wonder what the hell Mogul Affiliates is going to become or what it could lead to. We also had MJF setting up the first quarter of the AEW World Championship program with Bryan Danielson, to the point if Bryan Danielson runs the gauntlet of win and losses matter to become number one contender through February 8th, it will be AEW Revolution in the main event. That, again, Cindy G, lucky damn it, lucky, will be at live for the AEW World Championship, Triple B, MJF versus Bryan Danielson, 1 hour Iron Man match.
Yes.
And the
Yep.
last time I recall, particularly 1 hour Iron Man match, and maybe you all can fact check me for this, was John Cena versus Randy Orton at Bragging Rights 2010. Other matches have only been 30 minutes, men or women, any company you can think of, as far as what I can remember.
I'll go check.
I say we got our inquirer here to look on that, but I can't recall of what you other than what you just said.
Exactly. Hikaru Shida, what the fuck moment indeed. Is she maybe
Oh.
turning heel after
like,
being snuffed
Really?
by Saraya?
Oh no, you were technically right. It's the last Iron Man match with John Cena versus Randy Orton for an hour, but then you have to remember the fatal 4-way Iron Man match in NXT that ended in a draw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, forgot about that for reasons, particularly. Also, I gotta give women credit because Susan Suzuki and Risa Sera of prominence last year, I found on a YouTube channel that talks about all these Joshi Pro and Japanese promotions. They had a 60-minute Iron Woman match, and it was
Never
insane.
mind. It wasn't the last one.
Didn't think so.
Hooray, we're good. That wasn't the last 60-minute Iron
Yeah,
Man
I think
match.
mine was probably the last one.
Nope. It was Josh Alexander versus TJP in Impact 2021 for the X Division title.
Oh yeah, that's right. Damn, how did I forget about that? That was a hidden gem of a freaking match, and it went to overtime.
Noah.
Pandemic, give me a damn break. Pandemic. All right, that going. I can't remember everything. The Pillar and the Killer, Dr. Breaker DMD, and Jamie Hayter. I still thinking Jamie Hayter's gonna take the damn head off the doctor.
Oh, by the way, speaking of things, when we were talking about the WWE part, I just got some word from SmackDown. Guess what happened? For the first time and probably in her entire career, Charlotte was cheered.
Now, are you sure it wasn't filtered?
Are you sure it wasn't like filtered?
They were chanting, "Thank you, Charlotte."
Okay.
Wow.
To be fair, to play devil's advocate and maybe also play WWE fan, I think the WWE fan base respects and recognizes more the actual tolerance that Charlotte Flair shares among the WWE universe.
Since we're talking about that, Rhonda was on her Twitch stream this morning, and she said this. You know, I'm getting tired. I'm getting kind of tired of Charlotte. Maybe I should run the tag division for a while.
She did talk
With
about
who? Shayna Baszler.
Basically, she did talk about at one point, King, like you did say, she wouldn't mind just doing a tag run. She's kind of tired of being a singles champion. And if you're gonna actually make those titles seem like there's something, which I still believe is on Damage Control. Those might be the two that actually do something with them. I thought
Also, this was someone claimed about Charlotte's return promo on Twitter. And when I heard this, I was like, I'm going to watch it, but I have
how
my
about the
doubts.
highlight tomorrow like I always do?
They said Charlotte sounded like an actual human being.
Gee.
For now.
And I was like, no, there's no way Triple H did that. He somehow did that.
And I stand by what we opened up with. Triple H versus the other.
Yes. Oh, but there is something that happened. Sonya Deville fought Charlotte in a short match for the women's title. And apparently Sonya and Charlotte managed to actually get something cheered by the crowd.
A finish?
No. Remember how Sami Zayn accidentally said Usi and now everyone keeps saying it?
Yes.
Usi?
Yeah, well, Charlotte and Sonya apparently made one up their own. Whoop that trick. And then the crowd started chanting it. We'll make everything go over somehow.
Buy a shirt. Buy the shirt. Expect the shirt.
Whoop that trick. Well, let's see. Where do I know that reference from? What's that one Terrence Howard movie? Was that one song? It's hard out here for a pimp. Hustle and Flow. Hustle and Flow. That's what it is.
Also, that reminds me.
You would know, Mr. Pop Culture. You would know.
Oh, that reminds me. Scarlett fought in the wrestling ring.
Wow, they finally pulled the trigger on her.
Scarlett finally had her WWE match?
Yeah, she teamed up with her husband, Karrion Kross, and took on
figured.
No One Cares About Madcap Moss and Emma, the Jobber.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all about me.
Yep. The real life couple versus the married couple. I see what they're doing. Well,
Actually, I think that was a jobber match since Karrion Kross has said he wants to go after Rey Mysterio.
oh yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Well, I
he did
mean,
say
again,
that, yeah.
you got everyone, use your spot, right? You know what? Use your spot. Speaking of women,
Also, Ricochet and Top Dollar fought. I wonder how that travesty was.
for the love of God, if freaking Top Dollar beat Ricochet.
Yeah, well, good news.
No.
Top Dollar lost.
Okay. Whew.
Okay,
Oh.
but did he do a top rope move and botched it again?
No idea, but I did hear that apparently because of this, he is out of the Rumble. It was a Royal Rumble qualifier match because
What?
that's a thing.
Okay,
What?
good.
Well, hold on. I gotta play devil's advocate again. Triple H, I believe that. But if somehow the other guy has influence towards it, what if they have a last shot over the top rope at a Royal?
Whoa. I just now thought of it too, because the Royal Rumble poster came out and it was electrifying.
Yeah.
I wonder what that could possibly mean. Just saying.
Also, Cody was on there. Way to give away your spoilers.
I mean, look, let's just put it out there. Cody Rhodes is the guy to be the WWE champion in 2023. It's a matter of when.
Unless the other guy has Dwayne winning the Rumble.
Well, actually, here's the thing. Here's two things. One, 2-Night Mania. You want to make Roman God? Go and do that probably.
Or have him lose
also,
one night.
Guess what was reported?
Guess
what was previously reported, but now after what happened, it can't happen. You want to know what was reported?
What?
Apparently, Seth Rollins was
Becky
supposed to dethrone Roman's WWE title run, and he would keep the Universal belt and take it to WrestleMania and fight Cody. Well, you can throw that out the window. Seth Rollins is injured.
Oh, damn.
Oh, the injury bug. Oh, that's
Here we go again, King. And we're just starting. Of course, that injury happened. Wait, did it happen on Monday night or did it happen Monday night last year?
No, it happened on this Monday night.
Okay, so yeah, we're starting off. We're starting off. I get it.
We're starting off. Yep.
Bloody brilliant. Bloody freaking brilliant. And also, speaking of women, we talk about Hikaru Shida might be slightly heel turning. Why? Speculation about Mercedes Moné might be on her way to LA. That remains to be seen. As Saraya did pick Tony Storm, and so far, that Brigham DMD and Jamie Hayter, they seem to be on the same page. Even got a new shirt, the Killer and the Pillar. I kind of like that wordplay. We'll see how far that goes.
Also, good news on Impact front. Josh Alexander, as the January 4th, is now the longest reigning Impact World Champion.
He surpassed Bobby Roode. Great retrospective video. And also, I gotta wonder, is Mickie James literally her love note, her send-off, or her ultimate finishing achievement, where a wrestler wants to end things their way? Does Mickie James beat Jordynne Grace next week for the Knockouts Championship? Or does she go home without the finale she's looking for?
I don't know.
Remains to be seen, but I'm going to play early prediction.
Wait. Who is she fighting again next week?
Jordynne Grace.
Oh, yeah. I guess what she said in an interview.
Uh-oh.
She thinks she's been overlooked by fans because of tribalism.
Well, who am I to say anything? But there might be a little bit of actuality to that, unfortunately.
Yeah,
a
little bit.
I would also say partly because, I mean, no offense to Impact fans, but she's on Impact. Not that many watch it anymore.
And those that don't even watch it, insulted. It's pathetic when you think about Impact, despite the Bully Ray program going on right now, has a very strong roster and good stuff going for them.
Yeah. Also, is Jordynne Grace a heel?
Technically speaking, no. I would say Mickey's the heel right now because at this point,
okay.
Don't underestimate me.
Because I thought of something that they were going to do as like, if Mickie James really wanted to do it, she probably would. You want to know what I was thinking they could have done?
What?
And I wouldn't be surprised if Mickie thought this was an idea at one point.
What?
The way to beat your opponent is to put them in a garbage bag.
Mickie wouldn't do that.
Oh,
And Impact wouldn't do that
no.
either. There's too much respect for
please.
women's
They
wrestling
did-
in that
They
company.
teased her return by bringing garbage bags.
They did do that.
Well, again, Impact. Well,
Also, I
foreplay.
must I must remind you, this is the company that said, "Hey, remember that Vince Russo idea that everyone hated? Let's bring that back for our 20th anniversary. Reverse Battle Royale."
I don't know if that was a Scott D'Amore decision or a Tommy Dreamer decision, but whoever made that decision deserved to have been fired. But I do understand where you're coming from. But as far as the women go, I feel they have too much respect for the Knockouts division with the talent they put into it, including the four that will fight for number one contendership. Deonna Purrazzo, long may she reign. Masha Slamovich, one of the hardest workers of last year. Taylor Wilde, knockout veteran, and the one that I think is definitely going to be breakout 2023 for the Knockouts Women's Division, added to the four now, Killer Kelly. Let's freaking go. Killer Kelly, this is your year. Like Kylie King, it was your year last year. But Kylie King just still showed a good match. And speaking of women, just to close things out, King, you got to talk about that bitch. It looks like her and Red Velvet are on a collision course for the TBS Championship, where once again, I have to remind you, the real baddie still employed. Well, I think Red Velvet turned in her resignation. I'm just saying, man. Looks like we're picking up the rivalry that started Jade in AEW in the first place.
True, but let's be real. Red Velvet is just filler for our alien companion.
Which we hope
at this rate, anybody is filler at this rate until
it has to be, Chris. It has to be.
She comes back.
It has to be.
Also, speaking of the women wrestling, guess what WWE was planning to do for WrestleMania for this year for the women's division? And then they thought, hey, we could do that match, but we also hate our fan steal. Even though Vince was gone, we're going to scrap it anyways.
Becky and Ronda?
Yeah, they were going to do it. Then they scrapped it before Charlotte came back. So they were like, screw that match. We were like, the wells dried up on that, even though we haven't even used it at all.
Even Becky said that she felt relief.
Yeah.
Because, well, I mean, if you look at Ronda's performance as a relationship since she's been back, she could care less.
Yeah, Ronda's just can't.
Well, to be fair, Ronda did own up to what happened at Survivor Series.
Well, there you go. And honestly, that was the
turning point. She owned up to it. She admitted, yeah, I screwed up. It was my fault. And I was like, wait, you're not going to trash the fans? Oh, God, Seth Rollins must not compute.
Again, WWN logic, even under the Triple H era of positive morale and better creativity, you still can't use WWN logic in the same sentence 100% of the time.
Nope.
Also, I got sad news on the AEW front. Jeff Hardy may not be returning to pro wrestling at all now.
Yeah, I heard.
Probably for the best.
I feel like at this point, though, at the end of the day, you got to separate the person from the wrestler. The man's a father. The man's got a family. The man's got to worry about his longevity in life. You got to know when it's time to step away permanently. Jeff, I feel for you. This is it. Fade away. Classify yourself as.
Oh, God. We didn't even talk about the one important aspect.
And what's that as we close this out?
This whole week.
And what's that as we close this out? Because Rampage is on.
The Great Muta versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Damn right. The King of Strong Style backs his debut in WWE NXT Dallas against Sami Zayn, using the mist of Great Muta against him to beat him at Pro Wrestling Noah, despite the fact he didn't come out to Subconscious. He came out to his WWE theme with that instrumental violinist and a war drum.
Lee England Jr.
Entrance. Yep. What an entrance. What a match. What a moment. And once again, Pro Wrestling Noah crashes with NJPW. But what's to come from there? That remains to be seen too, as again, folks, this year just begun, but it's already been a huge year for ATW, All Things Wrestling. And that is where we will leave you for now at the end of this impromptu. So thank you once again for tuning in to the rebirth of this constant discussion. Will we be back before AEW Revolution again? Only time and story may tell. Before we conclude and bid everyone adieu, Eric, again, I feel this was a tremendous idea. Guys, I miss doing this with you too. Anything you want to promote, and where can people find you? Eric, you first.
Well, because Twitter hates us, I had to go ahead and say that Linktree is your destination to get all to my content from Neo Reality Collective, NRE The Wrestleverse, and Neo Reality Entertainment, the original channel, and NRE Omni Gaming, because I can't promote any of my Linktree stuff because Twitter blocks that now, and they will destroy your account if you do that. So I'm screwed.
Yeah, even if you were to pay yourself like King paid for some reason to be verified, I still can't believe you put money down to do that, brother. But you do you.
Oh, don't worry. I had to do it too because I still had some benefits off of using Twitter Blue, but they were going to cancel my subscription if I didn't upgrade. Luckily, I went for the $8 route and not the $11 route.
I'll use my $11 towards another wrestling subscription, whether or not it's freaking title match again or the Ring of Honor Club or some other thing.
Also, good news. Sting says he already has his idea finished to end his career on. Yay.
Oh, really?
And he did say Darby Allin's going to be part of it.
I feel like he's going to be the guy to make Darby Allin the freaking icon, the next icon. He's going to be the one to do it.
What if they actually do Darby versus Sting?
I think that would be poetic justice. I honestly would.
That could at least be a lot better than what happened last time when he wrestled the singles match.
Yeah, exactly. But again, only time will tell, as we're only one Dynamite in, and Rampage is literally ahead in 3 minutes, and I have commentary work to do. So, Eric, always a pleasure. Gang, you know we're going to be back next week, Wednesday, for one thing we didn't talk about, with the whole fact that we might get John Miles from that page if a CAT scan comes back to his brains okay, along with that women's tag, Saraya and Tony Storm for Stubborn DMD and Jamie Hayter. You also have, of course, Coach, your end game in the best of 7 series, which I know you have a lot to talk about and a lot to come up with a good play too, besides Big Bad Don. But we'll talk more about that next week. And if you want to apply for more, where can people find you?
You guys know the usual. Follow me on Twitter, AMT Roman numeral 23, number 23. Also follow me on Instagram, AMT Roman numeral 23.23.
As simple as that. And folks, you want to know more about me, know this. For I am just a simple man, a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Foster1916 for all things wrestling. If SummerSlam is in Detroit, yes, I will be going to at least engage and reconvene with friends. Who knows what else might come from that too. That's just one thing on my list for 2023, along with AEW events. But anyway, I'll be keeping you up to date with all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, to our entire family on the Twitter. Constantly here with Cine predicting panels, some retrospectives. There'll definitely be more ATW views. We are back, folks. So stay tuned for more on that. Stay tuned. For
Booker T hated on Sasha Banks again.
And Booker T is a fool, and also he's a shill.
Yeah.
He's now saying she should have spoken Japanese because there's no such thing as English speakers in New Japan.
Kenny Omega used that for a shoot promo Will Ospreay. That had different context, though. And also, to learn a whole language is not as easy as going to Rosetta Stone. Stay tuned for my continued voice takeaways and reactions on the Jet Vision versus Mia for all pay-per-views, live shows, and all sorts of things, too, including, literally, if you're watching this right now, I got to move over there in a couple of minutes to cover Rampage and Battle of the Belts 5, where we will see if we embrace the change, among other things, too.
With me, I said hi, and I tell him, James, I'm sorry you had to hear the Vince stuff.
Well, again, he had to hear it. He had to read it. Tomorrow night, he'll probably talk about it, whether he wants to or not. But I do think, as I always allude to, there are no winners, no losers, no betters, just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. And at the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, treasure your families, and do your best to just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's as simple as that. And with that being said, thank you so much again for once again tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Hit the bell as this video goes live on demand on this channel. Hit the subscribe button, help me keep growing this YouTube community. The content creativity is not laying up anytime soon. And follow the entire ATW family. Their Twitter handles will be in the description down below. For the entire ATW crew, and for Eric Brown at Near Entertainment, and for my all-elite brother, King A-Tring Anthony too, we thank you all for tuning in for the first ATW View Impromptu of 2023. More to come, but in ATW fashion, I bid y'all now a fine adieu. No lame brain joke needed, James. Dadgummit. No price like loser horn either, despite the fact that WWE Michael Billy up. Goodbye, and good freaking nights. Bang. And you see what he has, right? Let him in. Reverse of that. Don't let Vince in. Don't. Just don't.